Hey guys, welcome back. So this is the fourth lesson for this week. So this is the fourth one. Remember, in the previous, you only had to do lesson 12 practice problems, even though we did multiple lessons. So what we are looking at today is lesson 15 now. So let's go ahead and get started. So here are the ages in years of a random sample of 10 viewers for 3 different TV shows. The shows are titled Science Experiments You Can Do, Learning to Read, and Trivia the Game Show. So we've got all our different ages. So sample 1, 6, 6, 5, 4, so on and so forth. So we've got all our different ages for sample 1, 2, and 3. So for number 1, we want to calculate the mean for each one. So it says for one sample. We're going to do it for each of the samples so we can take and look at this. So remember, to take and calculate the mean, we add it all together. So we're going to add 6. Ooh, off the board, goodness. Okay, so for sample 1, we're going to add 6 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6, which is going to give us 61. It told us we have 10 viewers, so we'll divide that by 10. So we'll end up with 6.1. So the average age of those watching sample 1 is 6.1. Sorry, you can't see the point very well on that. There we go. All right, so for sample 2, we're going to add 15 plus 14 plus 12 plus 13 plus 12 plus 10 plus 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 8. When we add all those together, we end up with 117. Once again, we are dividing by 10, so we end up with 11.7. So the average age of those watching whatever sample 2 is for the TV show, we have an age of about 11.7, so almost 12 years old. All right, so for sample 3, we're going to add 43 plus 60 plus 50 plus 36 plus 58 plus 50 plus 73 plus 59 plus 69 plus 51. Add all those together, and we're going to end up with 549. Once again, dividing by 10, so 54.9. So the average for sample 3 is about 55 years old. So those are all our means for the samples. So now for question 2, which show do you think each sample represents? Well, learning to read. Are you going to be in your 50s when you're learning to read? Probably not. You're probably going to be younger, so probably more like 6 years old. So sample 1, learning to read. Sample 2. Now, sample 2, we were looking at an age of about 12 years old, so 11.7. So do you suppose that's going to be Trivia the Game Show or Science Experiments You Can Do? My guess is the Science Experiment one. So by default, sample 3 is the trivia show. So people who are around 55 years old, they like trivia game shows, things like that, so it kind of makes sense there. All right, the next thing we're looking at are movie reviews. So a movie rating website has many people rate a new movie on a scale of 0 to 100. Here's a dot plot showing a random sample of 20 of these reviews. So we've got our dot plot on here. So from 0 to 100, that's the movie rating. We've got all our dots. So looking at this, would the mean or the median be a better measure for center? So remember, those are our two different ways that we have to measure center. We can look at median, so finding the exact middle, or we can look at mean, finding the average. So looking at this, most of our values are up here in the 80 to 100 range, but we have a few outliers, so data points that are significantly different than the rest of them. They're way far off. So typically, When we have outliers, we want to use the median. So that kind of helps find the exact middle, because if we think about adding all of these values up, because of this 10, 20, 30, even the 60, it's going to skew it lower than what is really represented, because we have those few random outliers. So the median, because we have outliers. So if we take and estimate the center, well, there's one, there's another one, cross that one off, cross that one off. That one goes away, that one goes away. Now we're at the 60. This one there are 5 dots on 90, just so you guys can see that. That one goes away, that one goes away, and that one does. That one and that one, that one and that one. Or sorry, that's 95. Sorry, 95. Then this one and this one. So our last 2 points are both on the 90. So if we add 90 and 90 together, we get 180. We divide by 2. We're going to get back to 90. So 90 is the median. So it is our estimate of the center. Now, the MAD, or the mean absolute deviation, is 19.6. The IQR, or the interquartile range, is 15. Which of these values is associated with the measure of center we chose? Well, the mean absolute deviation is used when we're taking and dealing with the mean. We didn't calculate the mean, so we're looking at the interquartile range, or the IQR. Because we dealt with the median, which is the middle, we can split this into sections and look for the middle, so the interquartile range is what we're taking and using there as our measure of with our measure of center we chose. All right, for number 4, movies must have an average rating of 75 or more from all the reviews on the website to be considered for an award. Do you think this movie will be considered for the award? Use the measure of center and measure of variability that you chose to justify your answer. So what do we think? Yes, it should be. Oops. It should be rating. Yes, median was 90, which is more than the needed 75. So in this case, it would take and work out. So what our key word for this lesson is the measures of center, because you're going to be expected to figure out which measure of center is going to be most appropriate to use based on the data you have. So if you have those outliers, you want to use the median. If you don't have outliers and everything's kind of fairly well together and not the outliers, then you're going to use the mean. So keep that in mind as you're taking and doing these problems. Remember, the keyword is measures of center. All right, have a wonderful day and happy mathing.